Hey Grains, so today I want to find out, can we make a lamp with squishy resin gel? Not to be confused with squishy foam. As you can see here, squishy foam is one of those things that turns into like a foamy texture, and you can turn it into a kind of squishy, as you saw Mariah Elizabeth make here. Whereas squishy gel resin is more of a gummy texture. More often than not, creators who use this gel make really small, flat type figures. They're kind of like this mochi type texture, like a gummy bear. But I want to take this material into a whole level. Wow, that echoed. I want to take this gel and turn it into a 3D piece to see whether or not it can actually hold its shape. Now, I am not claiming that resin lamps are anything new because there's so many creators who have made resin lamps with wood and they look absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. Wow, that sounded weird. But nobody has made a gummy lamp. See where I'm getting at? I want to try something new is what I'm saying. Before we continue today's video, let's talk about our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Looking for a fun, casual game? Check. Challenging bosses? Check. An amazing community that's constantly updating? Check and check. Alright, let's continue. I'm gonna put this sword down, but you saw nothing. Raid Shadow Legends is a really dark, epic fantasy that you'll find both knights and wizards, allies and betrayals. As someone who loves trading card games, Raid Shadow Legends really reminds me of those, except in RPG format. Make sure you check the links in the description box below to download Raid on either your phone or your PC. There's so many things to talk about when it comes to Raid Shadow Legends, but here are some of my favorites. I absolutely love character design, and the fact that there are hundreds of champions and a lot of them just look absolutely wonderfully unique, and not to mention the color schemes. I like. And the other thing I absolutely adore doing is leveling up my champions. Not only can we do that in battle, but in the tavern we can sacrifice some characters that we're not too crazy about to make our own even stronger.
But Jackie, what's going on with Raid?
Ah, I am glad you asked. Raid is constantly updating the game and adding new events, so you really have so much to keep you entertained during the holidays. And especially this month, Raid has one of their biggest updates yet. The main event is called Doom Tower. It's a huge tower with 120 floors. And in this tower, there are going to be secret challenge rooms and some really freaky bosses, 12 of them if I might be precise. I've been really looking forward to Doom Tower. I just love challenges. And right on time for the holidays, they are going to be releasing 14 new champions, along with a whole host of holiday events and tournaments. So what are you waiting for? Check the link in the description box below and install Raid for free. New players will get 50,000 silver, 50 gems, 1 energy refill, 1 clan boss key, 5 mystery shards, and 1 day XP booster, as well as an awesome epic champion, Shaman. All these gifts will be waiting for you here in your inbox, but only for 30 days. Thank you Raid for sponsoring today's video. So when making resin lamps, the idea is pretty straightforward. You take some cute little lights, you pour some resin on top, and voila. And so introducing my tiny lights. And so I've turned off the lights. Okay, wow, this lighting is not flattering at all. Do I look mysterious? Probably not with that eyebrow move. So I have 2 different colors of fairy lights. This one here is called Rainbow, even though it's not rainbow, it's just colorful. And as you can see, we have purple, blue, green, and orange. Really pretty light. And the next one is just simply blue, which is the one I want to use for the Among Us lamp. For those of you who don't know, Among Us is a really popular game in the last few months where you get to play with your friends online and one of you is an imposter. And the goal of the game is to either finish your tasks or to find out who the imposter is. It's basically like Werewolf, for those of you who've played it. In the community tab, I asked you Grains if you knew Among Us, and about 71% of you said, yes you do. But Jackie, I don't like Among Us. That's okay, I have you Grains covered. We're also going to try to make a gummy bear lamp. Gummy lamp. I got you covered. By the way, for those of you new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, otherwise I may wave a sharp pointy thing at you. Quite dangerous. While you're there, make sure you click on all notifications. Today's video is a collaboration with my friend Macaroon, who made a really cute Plague Doctor plush, also from Among Us. Make sure you check her channel, I'll leave the links in the description box below, and give her much love. So the best way to start this project is to go by sequence. So we're going to start with gummy resin, and this is a UV resin. The reason I'm a little skeptical that this project will work is because resin produces a lot of heat. And generally speaking, most of the projects that integrated light were bigger projects, which means that there was more space for the heat to escape from, therefore not damaging the lights. And as you can see, resin can create so much heat that it can actually break the glass or the surface that it's being used on. Yes, it gets really hot. And if you use too much, it can also overheat and get destroyed. Even the resin within itself can crack. So for us to be using it in smaller surfaces means that there's less air for it to kind of cool down. So let's go ahead, use our gummy resin. And for this experimental project, we're going to use an adorable panda mold. It is a flat surface, kind of looks like a hippopotamus from this angle, but it is indeed a panda. So I'm mixing my gummy resin with a little bit of glitter flakes because I really want the rainbow lights to show through, kind of like a crystal. We'll see if that's what we get. So one of the important things to remember is to not overflow our molds, simply because we're going to be putting the light in there, so it's going to take quite a bit of space. Oh my god, is this not beautiful? Oh my god, that is so pretty. Look at that. Don't tell me I'm the only one who finds crafting to be absolutely smexy. I mean, just look at it, it is so smexy. The other thing that concerns me is that we are using UV resin, which means that we are creating heat much more quickly in a shorter amount of time. So I'm legitimately nervous. Let's go ahead and shove the lights in here. Oh my god, oh my god. I've never done this before. And it just feels counterintuitive to put lights inside liquid. Every time when I was this little grain, it's just, these things are conditioned in you. Don't do it unless you know your materials. Ah, no, come on. That is here. No, yeah, no, nope. Let's bend it here. Put the rest inside. Okay, so I'm gonna top it off and then see where this goes. No, I am just a tiny bit short of that resin to complete it. Gosh darn nabbit. And the moment of truth, we're going to be using a UV lamp in order to make some kind of light to harden this resin. Normal epoxy resin just takes time, anywhere between 8 and 24 hours. And this squishy gel does take 24 hours. So we're gonna do our test, which is quicker, and then go on to the big stuff, baby. So if there's a fire, that is on me. Okay, and there we go. So at this point, it should take at least, I would say, 3 to 5 minutes for it to harden. I hope it's not going to go wonky and it's not going to just crack. And just to show you, grains, that I am not joking when we're talking about the amount of heat that is created by resin curing, here's a thermometer, and let's go ahead and put it right here. Cover it, and we're going to see the temperature rise based on how much it's producing. Oh, it says it's too high. Okay, so apparently this is dangerous. It's more than 50 degrees Celsius, which is this much in Fahrenheit. So apparently I am poorly equipped to show you heat because I have no other heat measuring instruments except for this one, but it's made for oil, so nay. But from my dumb experiences touching hot things, because I'm very curious, the heat reaches anywhere between 65 and 70 degrees Celsius. Again, for you Amerigrains, here's the temperature in Fahrenheit. But now the moment of truth, we get to unmold it and test whether or not the light works in a gummy environment. Oh my god. So the question is it still gummy? And the answer is interesting. It's become extremely firm. I don't know if you grains can see this, but the gummy, oh, there's the ear. So see, here's the ear, which proves that it is a gummy, but the whole body became extremely stiff. It lost its gummy-esque type feel. So while the lights are on, let's turn this here on. Because it got really hot, the lights themselves, if we look closely, seem to be embedded with some kind of glue. So if this glue is not heat resistant, then we're definitely in trouble. And here's the switch, and it worked! Oh my god, I have goosebumps! Oh my god! I did not expect it to. I thought something would have blown up somewhere, but let's get those lights off. So here we go, lights off, and it looks absolutely adorable. The colors are really vibrant. Even the glitter that I put in there kind of makes it look like an ice cube. You could see here, it's not that glittery. Oh no! The ear came off. See, that's the issue. The gummy effect, for some weird reason, it's just not as gummy as it used to be. So it's very, very stiff. So it seems like the gummy is only good for very slim surfaces as opposed to thicker pieces. All right, Time to summon old school nerdy crafter. Not this one, but this one over here. Yeah, that was me when I first started my channel. You were so cute. What happened? What happened? Well, you know, it kind of has to do with trolls. I think trolls got me. Makes sense. So in order to make our base for the Among Us character, we're going to be using something called polymer clay. In case you don't know, with polymer clay, you can make some amazing sculptures. And once you bake it, it becomes permanent. So the reason we're doing this is because we need to create a mold. And in order to make a mold, we need a master. So we're gonna create it out of this. Oh no, oops. Wrong one. That's the one. Now I know for a fact some people will be absolutely disgusted at the fact that I'm making a clay piece this thick. And if you have a problem with me liking my clay pieces thick, that's on you, not me. In all honesty, yes, we're supposed to be putting armature on the inside, but because I am using a vacuum former, dang it, by my friends over at Meiku, I really don't know how much pressure is going to be applied to the clay piece, so I really don't want it to crack in any other way. In case you don't know what a vacuum former is, here's a video of the machine I will be using later on, so stay tuned for that, because I have no idea how to use it. It's still in its box, but now that I have all the things to do it, I'm doing it. And luckily, making a character from Among Us is really simple and straightforward. If you want some tutorials on how to actually make the characters and details, feel free to check the link in the description box below. Many of my crafty friends have already done so. One of the things I can't say enough is if you are working with clay, I highly recommend using rubbing alcohol. The closer to 99%, the better. And the reason we do that, as you can see, is with a little bit of Q-tip and rubbing alcohol, we can remove any bumps and lumps and fingerprints, because we don't want our creation to just be a crime scene. We don't want any evidence all over the place. See? Just clean it up and it's going to be as smooth as your bum.
What?
I don't know how smooth your bum is, but I'm going to assume you have a smooth bum. Unless it's my bum. Yeah, don't ask what I was thinking. Sometimes I don't even know myself. I don't even know the words coming out of my mouth. So now we're going to shove this little dude into the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes because it is a way thicker piece. And I have to admit that if there are any problem issues. What's that sentence again? Problem areas. That's the word I was looking for. When we're making the gummy lamp, I feel like the biggest issues will be the gaps here for the backpack or oxygen tank, whatever you want to call it, and most likely here where the visors are. So any part that has a gap could technically be a problem area. Part of me is wondering if I want to actually make it smoother, but the answer is no, because I want those divisions to be clearly shown in the gummy lamp itself. Will it be a mistake? We'll find out. But for now, into the oven. So, normally we do a little prayer before putting our piece into the oven because I'm worried of cracks and burns and all that stuff. I was like, you know what? This is a simple piece. It's not gonna crack. Nothing's gonna fall off. But of course, I was wrong. Let me sit down and explain this to you, Grains. Because a piece of clay is really thick, the chances of it cracking are really high, and for some reason, I didn't think about it too much. And so we ended up with one huge major crack along the entire center. Look at that. This crack would have been okay if it was in the back, because you know where cracks go. So if it were here, it would have been okay. But the fact that it's right in front is not, I am not happy about this, and I have nobody to blame but myself. So I'm going to do a little bit of work and put some liquid Sculpey mixed up with the clay, and then kind of just try to patch the crack. Hopefully that'll work. Now we're going to actually put our hands together and pray to the baking gods, because they are not merciful. Ready? Dear baking gods of Evermore, please protect my piece from cracks, burns, and fallen pieces. And also,
stop breaking my stuff!
Alright, so now we're going to get into the heavy machines. I've never used a heavy-duty vacuum former before, so I'm a little excited, a little scared, just a little bit of everything. So, with that said, I need way more space than this over here. So I'm gonna need to push you, Grains, just a little further back, like this. Alright, hang on, I'll be right back. I have to lift with my back, right? Not my knee. Hang on, I got this. Yeah. Here it is. Oh, let's open it up. I want to be very clear, this is extremely heavy, so I am having a hard time unboxing this by myself, so I'm gonna get some help, and you grains are just gonna fast forward to the smexy shots. I'm guessing this is close to 30 pounds, this much in kilograms. Here's the vacuum former all set up. I have the shop vac there. I basically have everything plugged up and I still have no idea what I'm doing. I watched the tutorials maybe 6-7 times because I'm extremely nervous. There. And basically what I have to do, according to the instructions, is turn on the heat, turn on the timer, place this plastic sheet in between once it's ready, and then we have to wait for the plastic to make kind of like a dome before we smush it down. Do you like my smushing down sound effects? That's what it is. Alright, so the background noise that you hear is the element heating up. Apparently I did it wrong. You're not supposed to press the timer button until the plastic is all the way up. So don't worry, I'm learning, okay? I'm learning. Oh no, that was terrible. Oh no. Okay, well that was a fail. I'm going to guess the reason this was a fail is because I was kind of at an angle and the camera was right in front. So I'm going to find a different angle so I could just kind of go all the way down without it being in the way, and let's see how that turns out. So for obvious reasons, we are still messing up. Why? Alright, so this one is definitely much better, and I kept it in there a lot less. So they say 1 minute and 20 seconds, I only did it for 30 seconds. So with our quasi-type success, I figured I would make the Among Us character halfway, because they really said, warning, do not have a 360 character. So we're gonna try and half it and see how that goes. Yes! Oh my god! So even though from this angle it looks absolutely wonderfully fantastic, both top parts seem to have made a line. So I'm okay with this. Worst case, this is gummy. I could try to work around it, but we'll see. And here's the first half looking super cute. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. No, that one's a fail. When it came to the gummy bear itself, I ended up kind of patching different holes and making the legs a little more straight, and also deciding that it was okay to have the back flat, simply because when it comes to actual gummy bears, they are flat in the back. They don't have no junk in the trunk. Oh, and in case you grains are wondering, yes, it is absolutely a huge pain in the butt to remove this without bending this. Otherwise, you might damage the actual mold. But after a bit of a struggle, we manage. And now for the fun part. Squishy gel. So the gummy texture that we're supposed to be able to get. I've never used this before, and I've only heard that it was the most finickiest of things ever. However, this one here from Sophie and Toffee is supposed to be way easier to use than the Hitohara gel. If you're not sure what Hitohara gel, basically here it is on screen. My friend Macaroon also used it, and she's had both successes and fails with the same product. Whereas with this one, we're supposed to get only successes. But knowing me, anything is possible. So this material is supposed to be really easy. It is a 1-to-1 ratio, and in this case I'm using the entire container. Because we have 2 halves, I'm not quite sure how much I'm going to need. Now for the exciting part, glitter. Please don't ask me how much glitter I own, because I don't have much. I definitely don't have a glitter problem. Stop looking at my collection. Stop, don't look at it, stop it! Don't judge me. I'm going to be using a combination of glitter flakes in the same way that we've used at the beginning, which gives it a kind of icy effect, and fine blue glitter. I find that glitter always makes any kind of resin work really stand out a lot more. I don't know if that's going to be the case when it comes to squishy, but we're here to find out together. And the only reason I am doing the blue character is basically because that's the only light I have. If I had red light, I would definitely do the red character. If I had orange, I would do the orange character, because that's the one I always play. I'm a carrot. And a tiny drop of squishy pigment. And I put the light right underneath. Let's see what it looks like with the light. Ooh, very nice. And when it comes for the jelly, no, not the jelly, the gummy bear is the word I'm looking for. I did the exact same process of taping the light, and believe it or not, it gets a little finicky in there because everything just wants to stick out. I mixed my gummy resin in the exact same way as the previous version, except for this one, I'm going to be using a kind of bluish pink glitter and some iridescent little hearts, but we're not going to use any kind of colorant. I'm hoping, since this is rainbow light, we're going to give it a chance to actually be just more rainbowy instead of try and dull the colors. I'm actually changing my mind just a little bit, and I'm going to just add a couple of drops of red. That's it, just so we have a little bit more color. I know I said I wanted the lights to shine through, but what are you gonna do? I love color. Ooh, that is pretty. Oh, that is not nearly enough color as I wanted. Unfortunately, there's absolutely nothing I can do to get the wires down because they seem to want to float. I don't know why. I even dabbled in there and got my fingers all wet and gross. Do not touch chemicals. Grains, do as I say, not as I do. And now there's nothing else we could do except for wait 24 hours.
The next day.
Grains, it is not looking good. This is after 1.5 days and it's not cured yet. It just wants to tear apart and have nothing to do with me. So we're gonna have to wait just a little longer.
Much later.
So here we are 3 days later, and I am more frustrated than I have ever been. I went into this project like,
This is going to be such a fun project. We're going to make gummy lamps. How hard could it be?
and then 3 days later,
Why did I even do this? What does my life even mean? Why does this product hate me?
I am so frustrated that even my salt shaker in the back is not happy. Oh, you see, it turned red. It's not happy. If you want to know why, that's because I've waited for this product to cure, and it has, but it is not user friendly at all. They do recommend using a mold that is plastic and very stiff, but look, you see this? I'm trying to take it out, and all it's doing is ripping apart. So if you spend a lot of time making a project, all it's going to do is just kind of distort. You're going to have a really hard time pulling it out, even if you go slowly. Look at that. The pieces are sticking to the actual mold. And when I spoke to Macaroon, who has the most experience with this, she confirmed and agreed 100% that this is cured. So this gummy texture is 100% cured. It's supposed to be slightly sticky like this and firm like so. And the tearing is very dependent on the product itself, which means that it's not user-friendly, especially for beginners. Even she had a hard time working with it. But we're going to pull this out and see what it looks like. And as we're getting close to the bottom, you can see that we're trying to get the glitter, and they all dropped to the bottom. Look at that. Oh no. Oh, what a mess. And yes, I tried hand sanitizer to get it out, and yes, I tried cornstarch as well. And here's our supposed pyramid. So it's behaving as it should. Look at that. Which is a mochi squishy. Look at that. So satisfying. So this part is doing what it's supposed to, but unmolding it, and look, it just wants to tear. So I think as a product in itself, in its current condition, it really does not cooperate. So I still think there's work to be done. 24 hours is not a realistic time period. So I would wait just a little more until the actual recipe is perfected, because for me, just nay. So if you're wondering what the solution is, I'm actually going to be using the mold pieces that I made because I really love the Among Us and the gummy bear. I'm not going to tear them. There's a reason reason why I had a test piece. So I'm going to go in very gently with scissors and an X-Acto, cut around the molds so that we can have the halves non-touched, because I don't want them to be gross. Once I have the pieces in the mold cut up in the plastic, it's still going to maintain that jelly effect and you can still smush it in the back, but at least that way we're protecting our actual piece. I am so frustrated. I'm so frustrated. Seriously, I really wanted to make a standalone gummy. I think I might have to make a part 2, but we'll see. We'll see if that's what you crave. Oh, the frustration is real. So as you can see, I finally was able to cut them. It took me about 40 minutes to go ever so gently, because we all know I'm not that gentle, but I try anyway. And I'm able to get the 2 halves together. It is still really flexible, as you can see me smushing it. It's not the ideal way that I would like it, but it seems like this product itself would not have worked. I probably would have had a better chance using Jell-O. I'm not even joking. I am really tempted to make light up Jell-O. You know what? I will do light up Jell-O. And yes, it does stand on its own if you smush it. Why are you gonna turn me into a liar, huh? If you smush it hard enough, it will keep its shape. And if you want it to stay longer, I highly recommend putting a little bit of resin, regular resin, around the edges. But then it means you can't open it and just do kind of this, which is kind of the satisfying part. But if you really want it to stand, you can. There are ways to make it stand. Let me demonstrate. Again, not the ideal type of environment, but let's turn the lights off and see what they look like. Maybe that's gonna blow me away and everything's gonna be okay after. I highly doubt it, but let's turn the lights off. I know you can't see me too well now, but lights, let's go, and off. And here it is. Oh my god. Oh my god, that is so adorable. Okay, this is cute. I really like this, but it could just be the lights and not the gummy. But again, look at that. Even the gummy in the darkness is really satisfying. It almost feels like a swimming pool. I don't know why it feels like a swimming pool, but there you go. That's not satisfying. I don't know what is. And now for the Among Us lamp, I actually have to turn 2 of them on. Oh, and the back. This one is way more impressive in real life than it looks here. To be honest, on camera, it's not doing it justice, but you grains can see the close-ups, and I quite like it. I think the rainbow colored fairy lights are definitely way better. Let me know in the comment section below which one of the 2 is your favorite. I would have to say that this one's my fave. If you want to see me attempt more gummy type lamps, make sure you leave a like. If we reach 30,000, then I will definitely give it another go, hopefully with more success. Make sure you check her channel. I'll leave the links in the description box below and give her much love. If you want to watch more videos of me being crafty, make sure you check up here. And if you want to watch a review where I basically destroy things, make sure you check down here. Until then, I will see you grains in the next video.